Mentioned that earlier. They were expected to vote on this measure this morning, but that didn't happen because of an absent lawmaker who was dealing with a family emergency. But before the vote was called off, we got a chance to speak with Senator Ken Bennett, who wants to see some changes to the proposed immigration crackdown. Now, Bennett is a Republican from Prescott. He wants to keep protections in place for those so-called dreamers. Those are the migrants who were brought here illegally as children. Currently, dreamers are protected from deportation under an executive order signed back in 2012 by then President Barack Obama. But a recent amendment to that current Arizona border security proposal would lift those protections should that executive action ever be repealed or overturned in court.
Well, if you don't get what you want on that, are you still going to vote for it?
There are some things that if we don't get, I won't vote for it.
But what are those things?
We need to wrap it up because we have a meeting right now, Senator.
Yeah. What are those things?
No, I'm not going to get into the details of what's a go or no go, but some of these things are important enough that my vote is contingent on it.
And Bennett believes dreamers should be able to stay regardless of the status of that executive order. With a slim majority of one vote, the GOP cannot afford to lose any of its members, and that means every Republican, including Bennett, must be on board to send this measure to the ballot. Now, the Senate is expected to pick up this bill again next week. They are targeting next Wednesday for that next vote. Guys, back to you.
But it still seems, even moving forward, there are still so many gray areas in this. So then where does it go from there?
And that's some of the stuff that Bennett had brought up. He does have several big concerns. So for us today, it was a question of whether they were going to vote at all, because he does have some real big concerns. I'm hearing they're working on those. We'll see that. And one of those concerns is, how do you enforce this statewide? Because under this plan, you have to have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to detain anybody for violating this. Well, how do you have that reasonable suspicion or probable cause if you find somebody in Kingman? Because probable cause would be seeing somebody entering the state illegally. How do you know that if you suspect somebody of being here illegally if they're up in Kingman? Because there's other ways around. Did they enter in Arizona from Mexico, or did they come up through California and then enter Arizona? They wouldn't be afoul of this law.
Right, and it seems to be so subjective as well, right?
Yeah. So there is a lot of things they're working through, but it's clear that there is definitely a big effort. They want to get something to the ballot to address the crisis down at the border.
It's going to face huge legal challenges, no doubt. Some critics have said, is this just essentially a get out the vote effort by Republicans who know that abortion rights are going to be on the ballot in November? Is this the Republican version of getting out the vote? Any sense of that at the Capitol?
Well, I think that what they would say to that is like, yeah, if you want to be cynical and look at that, sure, this will get the vote, will get the voters out, because a lot of people are concerned about this issue, and that's what they would say, whether it's a get out the vote or not. It's a top issue. You look at the polls; a lot of voters are saying it's a top issue with them. So regardless if this is a voter turnout model or mechanism or not, voters want something done on this, because we've seen Congress has not been able to get anything done on this. However, the other side is looking at this and saying there are better ways to go about doing this. The way they would say, the critics that is, would say that this proposal is poorly drafted and it's got big holes.
Yeah, well, let's see if it moves the needle any. Dennis Welch, thank you.